everyone. So I did this session with Jimi on around December 27th of 2019. And you could see in the very beginning that there was some personal information that we cut out in the beginning. And then it goes into this discussion regarding the impeachment that I was not happy about. Excuse me if I was a little fired up, but I think being fired up about some of these things it's not a bad idea. I think that we need to be protective. We need to have an idea of when it's time to speak up, when it's time to step back. But in this case, I needed to speak up, and I wanted people to understand that there are a lot of different things that have been happening, and to try to reset us back into a place where we continue to move in like a loop, or not move forward or ascend, or always getting stuck in the same place, and continuing to go with that comfortable, familiar space with the comfortable, familiar people guiding us, and ending up absolutely nowhere, right where we began in the first place. So I'm trying to project that we move into the next phase of where we should be, rather than getting stuck again. And so this is the passion that comes from behind the discussion that begins. And then we start to delve into, the typical strange and weird stuff regarding things that are in the astral that are connecting to Jimi in this session. And in personal sessions, people know what I'm talking about, that certain things come up that, it's not something that a person could actually see. And unfortunately, I can see it, point it out. It sounds really weird, but it does the job. It helps people to disconnect from who they don't need to be connected to, or some kind of weird issue that happened maybe thousands or hundreds of years ago, or the last lifetime, or somewhere. And you just kind of release yourself from that. So if it sounds a little strange, that's what it is, for those that are not familiar with my work. And it sounds like small talk. It sounds like ridiculous. I hear the names. I'll hear someone talking to me. And then, we'll just kind of follow that thread and see what happens. But things usually get a little lighter and easier for the individual that I'm working with. And in this case, you get to see it firsthand. And we've had quite a few sessions, Jimi and I. And so some really interesting beings have showed up. Jimi also has this connection to the Agarthans, and so he kind of is a magnet. And he's also had some of the older history. So there it is. It jumps from one issue to another, but in the end, I guess it starts off with, politically charged it's a comment or discussion that I have in the beginning, and then it goes into his personal information. So, and excuse the profanity, there's a little bit here and there too, as we get a little fired up about these topics. So thank you very much for listening, and here is the session with Jimi. We're having trouble just even bringing in people who have committed severe crimes against children, or to hold these people accountable in the elite, who are the ones who are holding on to the system.
Yeah.
You can't even get them, to court for some of the multiple crimes that they've committed. And then just when they started doing that a little bit, they do the impeachment. That's all set up so that Trump doesn't bring them to court.
Well, they're taking Epstein down was a big one. and now this Prince Andrew coming up and him getting kicked out.
And then all of a sudden, Trump gets impeached. Yes. What do you think was going to happen? This is what I'm saying is if they're having trouble just putting people in jail, you think that they're going to just hand over their money? The only way anybody's going to hand over money is if they're in prison and they're forced to.
Mm-hmm. Well, I mean, there is more disclosure coming up about it anyway. In spite of Trump. I mean, I don't know if that's related. I mean, he was we talked about. He's buddies with him too. So
they're all buddies, but at the same time, he was calling them out. And let me tell you something: Obama and Clinton would never do this.
Well, you're probably no. I know that. There's only one. There's only one that would do what he's doing, and he's it.
He's it. So that's why I was saying why, that whole idea of being angry at him. Yeah, he's done some bad things, but he's also, if you want all of this stuff to open up, he was heading in the right direction for it.
Or we are heading in the right direction for it.
No, it's stunted now. He's going to be camera shy, if you know what I mean. He's going to be halted because
Trump's going to be camera shy. I don't.
When I say camera shy, I mean kind of like timid. I'm just using a figure of speech. He's going to be timid to do some of the things. He was much more bold about going after people. But after this impeachment thing, they really kicked him in the teeth, if you know what I mean. So now he's going to be stepping back, and he's not going to be as bold going after these idiots.
Knowing him, the way he acted during that first election where he got elected, I see him stepping that up even more for this next one.
I don't know about that.
Because that's just the way he is.
Yeah, but he just got publicly humiliated.
Yeah, but he doesn't see it that way.
He got set up. He knows he got set up.
I don't think he sees it that way.
They were able to carry it out.
Yeah, but he thinks he did nothing wrong, and everything he did is cool.
But it doesn't matter. They took the wind out of the sail. Do you understand what I'm saying?
I guess so. But he's a unique one right there. I mean, he's. But
they you know what? They cut off the nose to spite the face. You know.
He loves.
I'm going to use like a million figure of speeches until you understand what I'm saying.
Well, he loves to fight though. And this is just
They took the wind out of his sails.
Okay.
So that hurts all of us now.
Well, we'll see. It doesn't look like that Senate trial is going to last long. So.
It doesn't really matter. It's what they already did to him.
What, just the stain of the impeachment?
Because if he's thinking that he's going to blow things open and expose a bunch of people, he's going to think twice about it now because this is what they're going to do. This is what he's going to get instead. He's going to have the nation turn against him and his family. If I was him, I'd say to everybody. No, seriously. If you're going out of your way to really bring this stuff on the table like everyone wants, and then you get no backup for it, I could see the resentment, and I would be resentful as well. That's the problem.
Yeah, well, we'll see. That to me, that's all a distraction while this work is being done still in the background.
It's not a distraction. They took the wind out of his sails. He's not going to be as bold, and the people that are supposed to really be brought to the table, he's going to think twice before he does it, because he's dealing with the Illuminati, and they're very sneaky. And any of these idiots in the Congress can be bought off. I mean, they're like
they already are. You don't even get in there unless you're bought off.
Well, they're all they're doing. They don't care that they'd sell out their own mother. I mean, those people are insidious.
Mm-hmm. And I want them gone, all of them. And you do too. And we're getting rid of a lot of shit. You and I and others that you work with. So
but we need to have someone in the physical actually initiating stuff and having it happen.
Oh, he's not going to stop. He won't stop till he's out.
He's going to think twice. Half the stuff he was going to do, he's not going to do now. I'm telling you that right now.
What, have you checked in with him or something?
I already know.
Okay. That's good. Okay. So anyway, let's get off of him. I don't want to talk about him.
It's not about him. It's about the effort, like the very thing that you want. When it starts happening, it shows that there are systems in place that are against it. So right. It's not even about Trump, it's about whoever is going to take the role of trying to blow this thing open. So whether it's Trump or someone else, I don't know. Yeah, but we're really good at easily getting manipulated against the very ones that are trying to help us.
Well, I'll do it, Jess. I mean, if Trump can't do it now, I will.
You can't do it. You can't go into public office.
Well, maybe not. You're right. But, you know, maybe there'll be an opening for someone to step.
We might not get another opening for another 10 years or so.
Yeah, I'm not thinking like that.
He's not an ordinary individual. And anyone in this generation right now, anyone that's halfway sounds like Trump, they're going to be up in arms because they're going to realize that he's going to put a dent in their pocket and in their lifestyle, and they're going to do everything they can to destroy it. We can't go after those people if we don't have someone that's powerful or strong enough. They've got their Soroses, they've got all of their liars and the Clintons and this and that. We had Trump. We don't have Trump anymore. We have half a Trump.
Well, I don't know. I'm not really looking at it like that. I mean, to me, that's he's there to do a job, and he's doing it, and to perform a function, a role, a mission. You know, he's got his. We have ours. Everyone has their own, and I don't see him backing off from finishing his mission here.
I don't see him have an incentive to do it with the zeal that he had before.
Well, like he likes to say, we'll have to wait and see it with that, because I just say the way you're talking about him, I don't see him ever being. He's never been cautious about what he says. He just spits that shit out, man. He's got the what do you call Twitter, and he's always putting out Twitters, and he hasn't stopped with that either. It's daily, so. You know, and he's going after.
He's old, and they kicked the wind out of his sails.
What, is Peter telling you this, or what?
I already know it.
Or your other guides?
My other guides.
Oh. Council of Five. And,
yeah, I mean, what's the problem? We need to get out of our own way. Like I said, it's the same thing that happens to Peter. Peter tries to disclose information. You get these really horrible, trolling, mind-controlled people that are saying all sorts of garbage, and because they're mind-controlled by a lot of the false disclosure people, they're bringing up all of these different agendas, and if Peter doesn't line up with them, he's not supposed to line up with them. They're telling the lies. Mm-hmm. So now Peter gets attacked. So what does Peter say? Well, I can't do why should I be excited about helping when people don't care and they don't like me? I don't blame him. I feel the same way. People attack me sometimes. And here I am helping everyone universally. I don't have any I don't want to see that person do well or whatever. It's just you just help that everyone on the planet will benefit, and then they're calling me names. And so it's just like it's frustrating. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, well, that's their job. The ones doing that's their job, is to create disinformation and doubt and fear.
Right. But everyone has free will to choose that or something else. And if there's too many people that are wanting the lie, then they get to live the lie. It's almost like they're they're hurting the people that are trying to help and make the change. They want the change, but they only want certain personalities to be in the limelight because they've been manipulated or they have their favorites. But if someone like Peter comes up, or I'm not saying Peter is perfect, but he has a role, and if they don't like him because they think he has an accent or he comes from the wrong part of the world, or because they don't like that he's talking about the future or some interdimensional stuff that they can't validate, and so they think only their paradigm of belief is right, so they attack.
Mm-hmm.
They attack really hard. So then what did Peter say? I don't know if I really, other people don't like me. And I had to do that, talk to people and say, hey, listen, he's feeling like he's not appreciated here. I mean, if he's going out of his way, putting his situation at risk, and he's doing the work that he does, he has the persuasion to interact with some of the astral beings, but not only that, he has time travel access, he has all sorts of things, and people are calling him a liar. So it's all right, so I'll put it in another term, okay? So you say, the people that come from the Christian paradigm. So Jesus comes and says, hey, I'm here to help the planet, I'm here to help with, he's doing healings in front of everyone. He raised the dead, and then they call him a liar, a false prophet, right?
Mm-hmm.
But he just, meanwhile, in front of everyone, they saw he provided food, he did this and that, he helped them, right?
Right.
And then they said, f him, let's kill him and put him on a cross. Because I know what we saw that he helped us, but, well, maybe they're right, maybe he's evil.
Well,
and then the earth wonders why nobody comes to help them. Everyone says, well, why don't they actually, the astrals, come down and help us? Because you kick them in the teeth. You tell them that they're not good enough to be there, or they're phonies, or you don't like the way their hair looks, or something ridiculous. Oh, I don't like your personality, or this other person, I like them better. It's all this garbage. Mm-hmm. And then you find out later that everything still sucks because you chose the wrong ones again and again and again. There's a long history of humans doing that, picking the wrong ones.
Mm-hmm.
The very ones that kept you enslaved. So what's this called? The Stockholm Syndrome? Mm-hmm. We are in a massive Stockholm Syndrome. We have the whole planet is so accommodating towards the slave system. They love it. It's like all they know. They're comfortable with it.
That's you got it right there. It's all we know. Everything is set up to support that system. If you look at our history, it's all throughout our history that they teach us. That we've always been in this type of setup, and like I think it even says it in the Bible somewhere: the poor will always be with us. And obey. In other words, it's always going to be messed up like this. It's never going to be good. That's what has been the choice. There's going to come a time when people are going to wake up and smell the coffee, and they're going to say, hey, there's something wrong here. You know what? I'm going to stop listening and see what happens. Or I'm going to listen to someone else. And I'm not saying, like, what the other problem is there have been some of these fringe leaders, which end up being a cult or something, and bring people into a weird space. So I do understand that there is that part of it too. They ruin it. One way or another, they're manipulating and playing mind games so people feel immobilized. They don't know, do I do this? Do I do that? There's, bad situations happen when people do this, or, bad situation. We might as well just obey. Maybe we'll have a chance. And maybe we might be able to support our families. I don't know. I mean, it's the whole thing that they're pulling over there in France. Yeah, we can't support our families, but maybe they'll let us live. I mean, the bar keeps on going down lower and lower. And that's going to happen to everyone. Well,
so people have to stop. Even if you don't agree with certain people that are coming in with new ideas, at least listen. at least listen and at least be somewhat respectful and allow time to prove whether or not what they're saying is true. And if you hear people that are telling stories or lies and they're just trying to keep you to hold on, then they're a part of the system. And it doesn't matter. They may sound like they're out of mainstream, but it's another decoy. It's another way to snare you in your attempt of rebellion. And believe me, another thing too is they take note that they identify you as the rebels. Even though you're still in their system, it's a trick. It's a trap. Mm-hmm. It's another tier of a trap.
Well,
what I want you to do right now is what I said when I first started. I felt like even whether you agree or don't agree, I think it's best for you to just disentangle right now. And if you want to still listen to him. But I just want to see what happens.
Okay.
If you disentangle from him.
What? Shut down, uninstall, delete?
Yeah, shut down any programs that might have been implanted by any entities that's working with him.
Okay.
Yeah. Or not working with them. They just happen to be around. I mean, you never know. Some people don't mean anything bad. It's just other things there.
Right. Okay. I shut down, uninstall, delete all programs, contracts, vows, agreements, oaths, blood oaths that I may be involved in or that are connected to, and any Draco or dark, low vibrating entities, I also include in this shutdown, uninstall, delete any programs related to them also. And any dimension, time stream in between, parallel, pocket universe, quantum space, and I thank thee. Word is done. And I know.
Okay. You just pulled away from a spaceship.
I did.
Yeah, I saw a spaceship pull off of you.
What was the spaceship?
I don't know. I was a little surprised to see that.
And as soon as I said that, huh?
Yeah. Yeah, it was a spaceship. It was metallic. It had some, it looks like maybe it was an old tech because it had some grommeted machinery there.
Could it have been the New Jerusalem?
No. What's the story with the New Jerusalem?
Well, supposedly that's Ashtar's command of that ship, and it's Sananda's ship, and Ashtar is the commander of it. That's the Alliance, the Galactic Federation.
Yeah, definitely not. It was definitely not his.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, because I would have known.
So can we get a ID on that ship, though? So we can know the origin of it?
I'm seeing some, ETs that are bald-headed.
Hmm.
Let me see who they are.
And this came
I'm actually
from
feeling sick. It's like they're, parasitical. Let me see who this is. Have you been tired?
No, not really.
I'm getting nauseous.
I've had a little bit of neck and back pain lately, but it just comes and goes.
Any nausea?
Lasting? No. Maybe some digestive problems.
Yep, yep. A lot of people are having digestive problems. Yes. You heard that guy that I did the interview with?
Oh yeah.
He has major digestive problems. So does.
Well, is there? Can you tell me why that took place? As soon as I did that revocation, I was on that ship or tied to that ship in some way.
It was connected to you in some way, yeah. Like a cord, through a cord, almost like a feeder tube.
Well, that was cut.
Jeez.
Is anyone not happy about that? Anyone showing up and showing, that they're not happy with that, what we did there? You know how that sometimes happens.
No one's complaining at all.
Like you know who?
Who the heck is this?
Could Az be part of it? Azrael?
I'm not sure I'm seeing Azrael. I haven't seen him yet.
But he seems to be connected to me in a lot of different ways that I didn't even know about.
Right.
So he's the first suspect. And of course, he's an angel too. And then we have that other angel that we have problems with. So
I'm hearing that it's an early Sumerian group, but not. It might be Acadians. I don't think that they're in Anunnaki.
So it was early Sumerian before the Anunnaki came, or
It was another group, the Acadians.
Acadian. And I was hooked up with them. And it was through. And the others?
I'm hearing something like Zoltar.
Zoltar.
That's what it sounds like, doesn't it?
Yeah, and there's this commercial on TV that's got somebody named Zoltar on it.
Yeah, it's probably. I mean, I think it's like a Sumerian name or something like that.
Is this connected to Garthan?
He also called himself Soul or Zol.
So SOL?
SOL and Zol. Like a sun worshipping group.
That's what I call the sun, Sol Helios. You know, when I look at the sun, when it's coming up or going down, where I can stare at it and it doesn't hurt my eyes. Should I disentangle with that too?
They had like the Zoltar is like you ever see those fortune telling?
Yeah, that's what I mean. There's a commercial on TV with he's in this like a glass case. And
yeah, like the carnivals.
Yeah, and
that's wicked funny.
And she I'd like to shake your hand, and he punches the glass and sticks his hand out and shakes her hand. They play it all the time on TV. And his name is Zoltar, and she calls him that too.
What I think he is this guy, that Acadian. Let's see if I can get his name.
So I guess that helped me, Death, huh? It couldn't hurt.
I went through this before. It's one of the leaders of the Acadians.
That almost sounds like a insectoid name or something.
Well, it sounds like an arcade, doesn't it? Arcade.
Yeah, without the R.
Acadian, yeah, arcade. And then you're looking at this Zoltar who's there, and there's always something weird about carnivals, and kids go missing in carnivals. There's always like weird stuff.
And clowns.
A lot of heavy drug use, yeah. I'm wondering if there isn't a connection. Like, this, in some ways, there's Sargon. Yeah, Sargon of Arcade, and the Aldebaran called him Sargon the Usurper. I think that was one of their ships. That's funny because it's Chris had a problem with them too. I think they're in battle on Dimension, the Acadians, and so when you were calling in, maybe that there's someone on there by the name of Zoltar.
Maybe that's his brother or something.
It's really weird, like Acadian, arcades.
Yeah. Is this somehow related to Agartha though too, or am I connecting them to Agartha also, like I was Draco?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Well, we gotta do something.
Yeah. Well, that's what they do. They find the soul that they can link to access then another civilization. They've done that with me too. Don't feel bad.
So it's kind of a Trojan horse thing where they ride in with something trusted and they're inside.
Yes.
Hmm. So are they in Agartha then? They.
Yeah, I was wondering. That's where they came through when they were coming at Chris. They were in the Earth dimensionally.
Chris has the Garthan connections too.
No, they were coming after him from the inner Earth. But they might have gotten access. It's funny because he was having a hard time talking to you, and he couldn't put his finger on what it was, and maybe this is what it was. Your request to the universe was to find out what has been the problem that brings you into a trance or lower vibration, and this might be it.
Oh, wow, that's cool.
If you ask the universe for a question, they will give you an answer if you really, your heart is really leaning in that direction.
Yes.
So, and I had to, and I'm sorry, I get really firm and fired up about certain things.
I know.
But I think they something rises up in me, and I do that not to discipline or to confront anyone or anything like that, but because they're trying to get people to wake up about some of the things that are going on, or even self-sabotaging. A lot of people self-sabotage. They have no idea, and that's the last thing they want to hear, is that they're getting in their own way. But I've seen it so many times.
Yeah, nobody wants to admit that, for sure.
Everyone has done it. Everyone.
I know, but it's like an ego thing, You don't want to admit that you're shooting your own self in the foot or whatever.
Well, what's the first thing that's the problem is the ego.
Yeah.
You need to get past the ego and say, all right, listen, I want to know the truth. What in the world's actually happening? Why is my life going in this direction? Who is doing this to me? I really want to know the truth, even if this means that I have to change something.
Right.
Even if this means that I'm hooked into a group that is hurting me, or I'm supporting someone or helping someone that is hurting me, and energetically, because they're not in their authentic self, because they're like a facade or a mirage of what they say they are. And so being willing to look at the truth is going to make you free of these situations. And also, like in this dimension, in this reality, in this parallel, I'm making certain decisions that are affecting other parallels and vice versa. So in some other parallel, you might be sabotaging your existence right here.
Yes.
So some way we need to kind of figure out what's going on. And so it's not necessarily even just decisions here, but elsewhere. So your openness to people that are talking about certain things, and then opening you up into the astral, and then these things are then connecting in. And that's the whole catch-22 about opening up to the astral. Some of the stuff out there is connecting. First of all, you're connecting to your higher self, or you're connecting to something good that's related to you or your relatives. But then you're also connecting to some bad things too, because it's essentially the same space that you're opening up to. Uh-huh. If they identify you, the negatives identify you and say, "Hey, I remember that soul. That soul was this person in this year, like, this person in ancient Rome, this person in ancient Greece, this person in Egypt," and, they just have to look at you and they already know exactly, all that information, and they're like, "Oh, great." Or someone finds you that you were an enemy with in ancient China, and they're like, "There he is. That, so-and-so took my land or did something to me or put me in prison, and I'm going to make their life miserable." And so all these different things happen.
Yeah. Yeah, I've picked up quite a few curses and stuff.
Right, but also you picked up a ship.
Yeah. I've been connected to that ship for untold
20 years. They told me to be approximate 23 years, 2 months, and 4 days.
Well, why
don't you do the math and figure out when that was?
Well, let's see. That would be 1996.
23 years, 2 months, in 4 days.
2 months, 4 days. I I don't remember what happened in 1996, but that's when that would be. Right at the end of 1996. Now, supposedly there was a major Arcana Invasion that year on the Earth.
Were you in a relationship at that time?
Yeah. And it might have been right. Let's see. No, that's right. I might have been involved with her then, but right in that,
Was
time.
that the woman that had that surrogative?
Yeah, right.
Okay.
Yeah,
that's an interesting crossroad right there. 96. Okay, so probably both of you got affected by that.
Mm-hmm.
She was probably. Remember, didn't we talk about her being an astral being?
I got the impression that she was, I never felt like she was really loved me or anything.
Like something was stepped through, and it was mostly for this interaction.
Yeah, she was using me for something, and obviously it was some astral connection or a way to get into Agartha or through me or. She was I never looked at her as anybody that I could trust, that she was honest,
But something used her body, used her, and had a connection with you, wanted to make a connection with you, whether they were good or bad.
Yeah.
And then as a result, it was supposed to be coming through.
Yes.
But she was, like you said, then the astral being must have left, and then she went back to being who she was.
Mm-hmm. So I've been connected to this ship for that amount of time.
Yeah. I never saw it before, but see, this is what I'm talking about. There's layers of stuff that kind of unveil as time goes on.
Well, do I need to do something with that, or has it already been done? With cutting that cord.
Cut the cord. I think I pulled them away, but.
Okay, I sliced that cord.
Oh, wait a minute. Break all ties with the Zoltar guy and the Acadians.
Okay, I break all ties, vows, agreements, oaths, blood oaths, contracts with Zoltar, the Acadians.
Also include Sargon. Sargon.
I wrote that right under the Acadian, Sargon of Akkad.
Sargon, the usurper.
The usurper, and Saul, and is the woman's name.
Zol, or maybe it's Zuul too. S-U-Z, or Z-U-L-E. Zuul. I have to look that up. Isn't that another? Jesus, so now I'm trying to. Those names sound so familiar. I think they've used them in like movies and stuff.
And she and her family's French Canadian, so I don't know if they're connected, but
that's interesting.
But I'm just trying to figure out how this connection was made and what what took place 23 years, 2 months, and 4 days ago that caused that to connect me to that ship. I can't think of any one.
It would have been her. Maybe she came through. Maybe she's an Acadian.
Huh. Because I can't remember exactly when I got involved with her. 96. And I was still working at Hamtramck then. I hadn't even met her at 23 years, 2 months, and 4 days. I was still, or I think I had just left the first office I worked for the state. I was there about 2 years, and then they sent me to another office. And I stayed there for a couple months, and so it must have been right around the beginning of 97 when.
Oh my God. All right. So this is where I heard it. Zuul is a demigod and loyal minion to the Sumerian shape-shifting god.
How do you spell Zuul?
Huh?
How do you spell Zuul?
It's Z. Well, this is Azul. It's in Ghostbusters.
Azul?
Yeah. Zuul, the gatekeeper of Gozer,
Gatekeeper of Gozer.
is a demigod and minion of Gozer and the Destructor alongside Vince Clothor, the Keymaster. Zuul is assumed to be a female due to it being known as the Gatekeeper for possessing the female host instead of the male host. It possessed Dana Barrett in the Ghostbusters show.
Okay, now that's not Azul, it's Zuul, right? There's no A in the beginning of that?
No, no A, just
Okay.
Zuul.
Okay.
And it was worshipped by the Mesopotamians, Sumerians, and Hittites. 6000 BC, along with Gozer. Let's see if this is true. History. Yeah. Well, I mean, this is their teachings. I'd have to look and see if this was. I mean, they do pull like some of the real ancient gods, demigods, and all that stuff. So let me do a search here, see if Zuul is in fact connected to ancient Sumeria.
The Acadian is the early Sumerian group.
Yeah, it's the same thing. Well, I mean, it's either Anunnaki or Acadians. They pretty much have it under Ghostbusters. Oh, here's the mythology. They have it under Hittite.
And it was 6000 BC. That's like 8,000.
Well, that's the show, the TV show. So I'm not sure if there's any truth in that. It might, just be pop culture and.
Well, they probably like to pull out like factual dates and stuff and throw it into the story to give it some credibility.
Or at least related to. All right, there's someone by the name of Anzu.
Enzu.
And Anzu, divinity or monster in several Mesopotamian religions. He was conceived by the pure waters of the Apsu in the wide earth, or the sons of Sirius. Enzu was depicted as a massive bird who can breathe fire and water, although the Enzu is alternately depicted as a lion-headed eagle. So that's like the Griffith or something, right? Stephanie Daly in the Myths from Mesopotamia writes, the Epic of Anzu is principally known in two versions as Old Babylonian version of the early second millennium, giving the hero as Nigursu, and the Standard Babylonian version dating to the first millennium. So, in Sumerian and Akkadian mythology, Enzu is a divine storm bird, personification of the southern wind and thunderclouds. This demon, half man, half bird, stole the tablet of destinies from Enlil and hid them in the mountaintop. Anu ordered the other gods to retrieve the tablet, even though they are all feared the demon. According to one text, Marduk killed the bird, in another it died through the arrows of the god Ninurta.
So the Anunnaki are involved here.
Yeah. I mean, they were living at the same time.
Right.
Enzu also appears in the story of Inanna in the Hilupu tree, which is recorded in the preamble of the Sumerian epic, the Gilgamesh, Enkidu, and the Enkidu and the Netherworld. Enzu appears in the Sumerian Lugalbanda and the Anzu bird, also the return of the Lugalbanda. So there's all this, like, he's like a monster. Kind of reminds me of the Jersey Devil thing.
Mm.
It's like a primordial, they have like different, there's more than one creature combined or something.
Is anybody observing this conversation, Jess, that I don't know about?
Do you feel like someone's watching you?
Well, I can't tell. I know that we do have beings that like to listen in on us and observe what we're talking about, or you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Are you seeing any of that?
I'm gonna send you a picture. No, I don't see anyone just yet. I mean, I'll tell you if I do. But I'm gonna send you a picture of what this thing looked like.
I just listened to that last session we did, and that was cool.
So Jimmy, this creature was what was connecting to you.
So this is the Zuul you're talking about, or Anzu?
Yeah, Anzu. So maybe they also call it Zuul, Zol, Sol, which is Sol is like the sun.
Yeah, and I have had conversations with the sun, and I called it Saul, Saul Helios. I call it Saul for short.
Yeah,
but,
maybe you were calling him in,
oh,
not realizing it, or that they might have directed you in your path in some weird way.
I got that link, Jess, but when I clicked on it, it just brings my screen. It minimizes the screen. It doesn't bring it up. I'm sure I could do that, but I don't want to interfere with cut us off or anything.
Yeah.
So I will take a look at that when the call's over.
Yeah, no problem.
For sure, I want to see that. But should I do a revocation of that now?
Yeah.
Okay. Yep. I cut all ties, vows, agreements, oaths, blood oaths, contracts that I may have had with this being Saul or Anzu
or Zol or Zuul.
Zuul, Sargon, any of these ancient beings that I have been connected to. I cut all ties, vows, agreements, oaths, blood oaths, in any dimension, time stream, in between, parallel, pocket universe, false reality, quantum, and I thank thee for it is done. And I know it permanently.
Someone connected him to you in an unnatural way, and they weren't supposed to do that. It was almost like a punishment.
Who did that?
They said Bellever Belial, and then they said it was Azrael or Azazel.
Oh.
So he goes by the name Bellever Belial. So you were right, Azazel.
Ezreal?
Yeah, we saw someone else saw it.
With his feathered coat on.
Yeah. Yep. Well, maybe he was trying to say he was Anzu. Anzu's a bird.
Hmm.
So you just disentangled. He goes back. That bird thing goes back into its proper place in time, because maybe that's why the Acadians are all worked up.
Man.
Jeez. That Azrael's a real pain in the ass.
Well, I try to be as much of a pain in the ass to them as I can, because look what they've done to me, and you too, and probably many others. But certain ones they just seem to single out, because we have the connections. That's what they're looking for, those connections. Is Andronicus and Rodan and everybody kind of like vacationing from the transmissions, or?
Yeah, they're not coming because there's other things going on right now.
Oh, yeah, like this stuff.
Yeah, and it's really bad, isn't it?
Yeah.
They try to cut off your hands. Jeez.
They tried.
There's a bunch of females there were like part of the Acadians, and they thought you were holding on to them. They didn't know that you were trapped.
So why would they try to cut my hands off?
To get you to let go.
I guess that's one way to do it. But they weren't able to.
I don't doubt that they've influenced women to be hostile toward you.
Yeah, that's part of my seems to be part of my life.
I mean, there's a lot of this, trying to get men and women to be at odds with each other. I mean, it's a huge battle for humanity's survival. They want men to be in a separate reality, women in another, and stop the whole procreation process.
And they don't want. That's part of the balance of our being as male and female in all of us. A balance of the two, not fighting against each other or being separated. We're supposed to be together and we're supposed to be balanced, right?
Yep. So, all right, break ties with her and the astral being that stepped through her.
Okay. Break all vows, contracts, agreements, oaths, split oaths, pacts with and any entity that was but was the entity inside her or just influencing her?
I think it actually literally moved through her when you consummated.
Okay. And this entity that moved through her and any other woman that I've been with also, just in case there's any connection there. One you told me was not good for me, and there's only been a handful. My ex-wife, and in any dimension, time stream in between pocket universe, false reality, quantum space, and I thank thee for it's done. And I know, and it's Azrael, of course, too. Belial. We just keep cutting them with him.
Wow, Azrael's angry.
Hmm.
He just yelled at me.
Huh. I told you not too long ago, I told you about a woman who started talking to me on Skype, and you told me you didn't think so, so I backed off from her, and then another one got a hold of me. I started talking to her, but same old thing, she wants to get all involved in everything by texting and never speaking actually on the phone or
right, hiding who they are. Yeah,
and then asking for like a gift. Go to the store and get me a iTunes card or something. They want money.
Yeah, are you sure it isn't a male?
Well, hell, how would I know? I mean, she has sent pictures and it's a woman, but
yeah, that was yeah. There's like these weird con artists and stuff, and you don't even know what they are. A lot of them are from overseas.
Yeah, the English is not good, and you know how refers to our brother AAM as what does he call him? He's not very complimentary of him. He says he's like he's a woman or something, or he doesn't use the word woman, but he calls him derogatory names as if he's like really a woman when he's supposed to be a man or something. You know what I mean?
Which one? Who are you talking about? Michael?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, Michael has a female-looking aspect, and has tried to, he tries to go in the dream space and have sex with people.
Yeah, well, this latest woman's name is Michelle too, so there you go.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
I even called her Archangel Michael. I don't know if she knew what I was talking about, but so I guess I should cut ties with him too. I break all vows, contracts, agreements, oaths, blood oaths, any connection whatsoever that I may have had in the past or have recently had with Archangel Michael, Michelle, any other women that I've talked to online that have tried to steal from me or get me to send them money. And I thank thee for what it's done. Oh, and any dimension time stream in between parallel pocket universe, false reality, quantum space, and I thank thee for what it's done, and I know it. Did he show up? I know you probably don't want him to.
It's definitely lifting you out of the space. You were kind of trapped. That's good.
Yeah. Can't do much when you're trapped. Hey, Jess, that was pretty crazy how that show came on, or that movie came on about Doc Holliday, and right after we talked,
Yeah, no, it's not. It's not an accident. It's like you open up that information, and then there it is.
And what's his name? Uh, the brothers movie was really about not about Doc, but about was it Pat Masterson? No, uh, one of those other guys, and they had
Doc Holliday.
well, Doc Holliday was the one that was my friend. Um, but he was friends also with this guy and his two brothers, and another famous guy. Damn, I wrote it down. But one of the brothers' name was Morgan too.
Yep.
That was crazy.
It is. It's crazy stuff. This is really crazy too.
Yeah. Everything we talk about is crazy. I don't know what. I know some of the people really enjoy our calls and our sessions and everything, but I mean, others might think that it's just completely goofy, you know, because it just doesn't. It just sounds too out there, you know, like a movie or something.
It doesn't really matter what they think. That's what I'm saying. Is that there's the others, the liars, the people that are actually making up stuff. It's kind of ruining for everyone. And also a lot of illusions. You know, the system wants everyone to stay asleep, so they can't see it.
When we talked to my,
you broke ties with those women. Let me see where they want to go now.
Mm-hmm.
Still feels like it's not quite right yet. Oh, Michael was blocking you.
Was he?
Yeah. They said break ties with the Acadians, Zoltar, Zol, Sol, Zuul, and Anzu again.
Okay. I break all vows, contracts, agreements, oaths, blood oaths, any connection whatsoever to Sol, Zuul, Sargon of Arcade, the Acadians, Belial, Azazel, or no, not Azazel, Ezreal, Michael, and anyone related to them, Zoltar, in any dimension, time stream, in between, parallel, pocket reality, false reality, quantum space, and I thank thee for it. It's done, and I know it. Did I get them all?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm looking at. Sorry, I was just looking at this other variation too. There was from I don't know, Dude, Where's My Car? That movie, and they have this Zoltan. And Zoltan, I guess I'm looking it up. Old Hungarian name of Turkish origin. This name and the title of Sultan share a common ancestor, but its use in Hungarian goes back further to Prince Zoltan, who reigned in 907 to 947 AD, while the Turkish rulers took to using Sultan in 1473, replacing the older title of Emir. That's really weird.
There could be some Zoroaster influence in that area too.
Yeah, but it could be the Zuul, you know.
Yeah.
Anzu.
Yeah, there's a lot of Z's popping up there.
Yeah, it could be that. So essentially, it could be a title too, not just that's the name of the being, but according to this Zoltan thing, it's you know, meaning like a leader.
Mm-hmm.
But it's funny how that name is often used in a few of these different types of.
Yeah, just about everything we talked about today has a C in it. Just about. Either starting the name or it's in there somewhere, you know.
Yeah. And bleeding through. Like I felt like there was something else there.
Okay.
So then there's I don't know this Japanese anime. And they have that? Someone that's named Zoltan Akhenaten.
Huh.
Which almost sounds like Akhenaten, which is then.
Oh yeah.
Goes into this
Egyptian
stuff, yeah. Why don't you break ties with the Egyptians as well?
Okay. I break all
under the
vows.
rule of Akhenaten.
Okay. I break all I break all vows, contracts, agreements, oaths, blood oaths, any connection whatsoever to the ancient Egyptians, concentrating directly on Akhenaten and any beings around him or them that have affected me in a negative way to this day, and in any dimension, time stream in between, parallel, pocket universe, false reality, or quantum space. And I thank thee for it is done, and I know it.
Well, that's clearing something. Very old system that was still trying to dictate into our reality.
Oh,
It was nasty too. It's that whole monotheistic stuff
yeah,
that he was trying to, force on us.
yeah, yeah. He brought it into his own people and
And
got.
look at the people, like they get so hostile,
Yeah,
It's our way, you have to believe the way we do. It's like militant.
yeah,
It's not right.
and he was related also. He worshipped a disc, a sun disc. There we go with the sun again.
Yeah. There it is. There's the yeah.
And that was the
Soul.
one God.
Yep.
And got rid of all the other
Soul
gods.
disc. Yep. And it was I was looking at that too. That sun disk that he had that's where the Aten or Amen thing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Amen Ra.
Yeah.
That whole thing is just contrived to hook people in. When you say Amen, you hook them into this paradigm, in which is this monotheistic God, but it is not the God of Christianity, but it has a guise, it's behind it or something. It's really weird. It's very weird, because this is, and it's like Zoroaster brought in the duality, Akhenaten brought in the monotheistic belief of, it's kind of a militant one way or nothing type of thing, or you die. It's just very, very strong. So
before him, there was a lot of gods, and then after, when he came in, he said, "No, there's not all these other gods, just this one."
Just me.
The sun disk is what he worshipped. You see a picture.
Yeah, but it was essentially saying he was it.
Oh, okay.
I mean,
so he made himself God, not just king or pharaoh, but God, the creator.
Yeah, I mean, it sounds kind of like, well, no, you don't worship me, you worship that, but I mean, what's he gonna gain by doing all this? Nothing. He would have to take the energy for himself. He had a few wives too, and then he didn't only acknowledge Nefertiti.
And then he had some kids, and King Tut was his son. So
yeah, well, King Tut got killed, so he must have been behind that. There's no room for more than one, in these.
Well, he took over from his dad, didn't he? When his dad died.
Yeah, but you know how they are. They between Nefertiti, that wasn't. I don't know. Was that Nefertiti's son?
Yeah.
They get jealous. They get jealous because he has more than one consort.
Yeah. And he wasn't even all that cute, man. He had a big old gut and didn't even hide it. That they try to make themselves look all fit and everything, and he looked like he was completely out of shape.
He looked like he was a hybrid. That's what they were saying.
Yeah, he had that elongated skull.
He had some different features about him that were not typical.
Yeah, he looked like an alien for sure.
Mm-hmm. His head is very long.
And then they'd cover up that long head by putting a headpiece on that covered it. And
yeah.
I think his kids had that too, though. I don't know about Nefertiti though. But anyway, that worked, huh?
Mhm.
And that certainly wasn't helping me or us. It was a way of holding us down or keeping our vibrations low or whatever. Oh man. Anyone else else want to talk to me?
That's really weird, huh? How this all connected in. It's very
Yeah.
strange.
Yeah, it is. Anyone else want to speak to me? Or have any messages for me?
There's an Egyptian woman that's blocking you and she's angry at you.
Oh, who's this?
I don't know. I just saw her. It might be Nefertiti. She just turned into like a black, like a cougar or something.
Huh.
Or puma, or what you want to call it.
Hmm.
She's standing by this entryway. It looks like all stone. And there is some paintings in that cobalt blue color, or the they call that blue color that they used a lot in gold. It's sort of on either side of the above and to the side.
Kind of a dark blue.
Of the door. Yeah. Yep.
I know there's
lapis lazuli.
Huh.
She's standing there. Behind her is a fire.
And what's she mad about? Did I just cut those ties?
She said she's yelling at you. You have to obey me.
Oh shit. Ah.
Sound familiar?
Yeah, I hear that a lot. Problem is, I was obeying her, but I guess I didn't even know it. And now that I do, I'm not anymore. And that's what she doesn't like.
Why does she feel that you need to obey her?
Yeah, you got a name, woman, and what makes you think I have to obey you?
She said something like, you had one job and one job only.
And what was that?
That was to carry out the seventh seal of the kingdom. What does that mean? I think she's got you confused with someone else.
I don't understand. Carry out the seal, and what being is this that?
No, I'm looking it up right now. I know the seventh seal is that movie that I've watched that movie, but what is she saying that?
I don't want the job anymore.
Why does she think that you're supposed to carry it out? Who does she think you are?
Who am I to you?
They're calling you Jonah.
Jonah.
I don't think you're Jonah. I think you got him mistaken. You need to back off. He's Jonah. It's on his left foot, under his left foot.
You see anything under my left foot, Jeff? Obviously, there's something there, or she wouldn't be saying that, would she?
There is something there. Something like Hersheba? What's that she talking about?
What? That's the name? It's on my.
I don't know if it's a name, Hersheba. What's she talking about? I don't know these old beings. They say stuff and I don't know what they're talking about sometimes.
She must think that marks me as Jonah.
The only one I can think of is the Queen of Sheba. Her Sheba. Wait a minute. Hersheba is a region of Klatch. This must be some other like game or something. This is a wiki. Or Beersheba is something. Oh my god, this is so crazy. I don't even know what this is. Or Sheba Discworld. And they bring in the dong, which you brought up. The local currency is the dong.
Huh.
This is so weird. So,
well, don't have
what the heck is this? This is some kind of writing. And then it talks about the Apocrypha. So Hersheba is the region of the Klatch continent that is sometimes mentioned, but not yet actual featured in the chronicles. The name Hersheba, a pun, or Hersheba, Beersheba, is something that Terry came up with in 1992 when he was more or less thinking out loud about many people who didn't get, and then there's a name here, reference to the pyramids. I must have 20 letters and 1 or 2 emails of people who didn't we didn't twig until the third time around. Should it have been called M&M's or Hersheba? Hersheba. Should use that, yes. Little country near Ephebe. Ephebe. The local currency is the dong. The country is situated in the same rimwards coast of the Circle Sea at Klatch. And the immediate Windershins neighbor, the parallel is that of Egypt, Libya, Klatch, next to Tunisia, Morocco, Hersheba on the map of North Africa. On the Discworld map, both countries appear to be the same size, although nothing is said about the Hersheba population.
Huh.
I don't know what this is, because then they bring up the Apocrypha afterwards. What the heck is this? ispace.org. It's just weird. You brought up the dong earlier.
I wasn't really talking about the dong. I don't have any dong, but I was just talking about the reed.
You mentioned the dong.
I did? Because I have,
But you mentioned it, for whatever reason. I'm pretty sure. I might be wrong, but I could have sworn that's what you said. All right, so I'm going to hand this to you and see if we can figure out what this is. But that was the name of the Hersheba in the Discworld, whatever the Discworld is.
Maybe that's the time in Egypt when Akhenaten was in charge.
It could be a game. Discworld in Terry something. It's some like weird looking site where there's data here.
Huh.
And then they talk about something about the Klatch, and I don't know.
Well, this mark on my foot, she called it Hersheba.
Well, they said Hersheba.
Can that be removed? I don't want to carry around marks that tie me to any kind of.
It looks actually like a ceramic piece, but it could be metal too. I'm not sure.
I didn't even know that was there, and I don't agree to having.
Beersheba is maybe this is there. It's related. Isn't that Beersheba is somewhere in? I don't know. I think it's a location in the Middle East.
Huh.
Beersheba.
Not sure about that, but I mean, I've heard of Queen of
Yeah,
Sheba.
it's a city in Israel. It's Yep.
Oh.
It's actually spelled B-E-E apostrophe E-R, and then capital S-H-E-V-A. Beersheba.
S-H-E-V-A?
Yeah.
Okay. Beersheba. Okay.
It's a city in Israel. So it's almost like, well, that story of Jonah and the whale comes from Israel. Yeah.
So how did that mark get on my foot, though? And what's the purpose of it? Sounds like it ties me into something that I don't really want to be a part of.
I think the real Jonah did a swap with you because he didn't want to carry out his role or have anything to do with it. He wanted to be free.
So he gave me that mark, and that put me in.
Let me see if it's. Let me just double check. Because I don't want to harm you in any way or remove anything that's supposed to be there. So it doesn't feel. I agree with you. It doesn't feel right.
You want me to take my sock off?
You don't have to.
Okay. You can just give that shit right back to Jonah.
Jonah just took it back.
Right.
He didn't get rid of it. They pulled it from him. They pulled his identity out. And other people have been using his identity. I've had problems with Jonah. And I thought, well, why is he such a jerk, And now I see that it wasn't the real one. That's why. He seems okay. He's got his peace back.
So that it was taken from me though and given back to him, and then they took it from him.
No, they had you carrying it, but they were acting as if they were using his identity, but you were the one that was carrying that piece.
Uh-huh.
So you got like the bad end of the deal, like
surprise,
where you were being held by that female from Egypt.
Uh-huh.
Oh, maybe this had to do with the Egyptians and how they made the Jews slaves.
Yeah.
And so by you were essentially a slave of this woman.
Who was this woman now? Did we get a name on her?
I don't think we got a name yet.
I'm not going to be your slave anymore, dear. Whatever your name is.
And it's like Natalie. It's not like Natolia.
Huh. I'm through with you.
Cut her off.
Yeah.
You know what to do.
I break all vows, contracts, agreements, oaths, blood oaths with Natalia from Egypt.
Natolia.
Natalia from ancient Egypt. In any dimension, time stream, in between, parallel, pocket universe, false reality, quantum space, and I thank thee for it done, and I know it. She's still yelling?
I think she was connected to some of the false gods that came out of Anatolia. Some of the bad ones.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. She seemed like she was a very aggressive female.
Yeah. So I'm not carrying that seventh seal thing?
No.
Um,
Maybe that was the seal is related to that disc that Akhenaten was playing out on the planet.
mm-hmm. I was carrying all kinds of people's karma and curses and this kind of shit.
Yep.
Astral markings. Shut down.
You notice everyone has a different story, though. I mean, not everybody. Yeah, well, I mean, this piece alone probably gave you almost like a false timeline and just threw everything off.
Yeah.
And, of course, everyone's looking for power, so this being's probably coming out of the woodwork looking for who you are.
So they can use my power, hijack.
Yeah.
And my abilities. No, you can't have those. I need those myself. And then, I use my abilities now that I know I have them just to help others. And they probably want to interfere with that too.
Yeah.
Because they're using it for their own needs or their own agendas, and I'm using it to help others.
Yeah. Yeah, it's pretty bad. That was... I don't know how you really got hooked into some stuff. But essentially, I don't know if this all happened about 20 years ago. I think it all happened at once.
Well, it sounds like a lot of this happened way before that, though.
Yeah, it could be. Yeah, especially that implant in your foot.
Yeah. Yeah, that might have been ancient Egypt, BC.
Yeah. So the one was claiming to be Jonah and no one was believing him. Because you had that thing in your foot, but you never claimed to be Jonah because that's not who you are.
Right. But I didn't know it was there, so I didn't even know about it. Oh, man. You gotta wipe that stuff out. Can't let the being remember what's going on. You just go through life without even knowing, and you're carrying out other people's intent. What other revelations you got for me today, Jeff? Anything?
I just saw you in another parallel and you were sitting down. Like your legs crossed. Like on the ground, and you were sitting on like a carpet or something. Kind of like a Persian carpet. You've got like a vest, like one of those little short vests that they had, like Arabic looking outfit, and your beard and everything. And someone was trying to ask you your perspective of Zoroaster. So this is happening on a parallel because they thought you looked like Zoroaster.
Huh.
But you're actually from a whole other tribe. Like you're visiting the Middle East somewhere and you're from, let's see where you're from. By Sweden. But you have a big beard and everything. Your hair's all white like it is now. And you're doing some type of trading. And you wanted to bring back some of the stuff that they had there.
Is that a magic carpet I'm in?
I wouldn't say it's a magic carpet, it's just their way of sitting.
Oh.
But you want to make money like a merchant, and they get into religion with you a lot. They even went so far as to say, why don't you create it yourself? You know, you were asking for jewels and gold or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And it kept questioning you, like, why are you here? Why do you need some of the jewels and gold from us? And you kept on saying, you know, that you want to take it back home.
Am I a Viking?
Sort of like a Viking, yeah.
Because it's Sweden, that's where they're from, isn't it?
Yeah. But they got freaked out by you and didn't charge you. They just gave it to you.
Ah. Oh,
You wanted to trade something with them, and they were afraid. They thought it was like that it was almost like giving a god an offering or something weird.
They thought I was God, huh? A God.
Yeah. You didn't understand why you thought they were just being nice.
Oh.
They gave you a special sword with stones in it. It's really beautiful. It's like a golden, like the handle is golden, and I can see all these gemstones in it.
And these are Middle Eastern people?
Yeah.
Or Far Eastern?
I'm not sure exactly what country it is, but it's almost like you were kind of went off the beaten path. You were just very like open to everyone, and you were very like reading everyone, and you were like people had any, you know, you saw someone was having trouble walking, you helped them. You just kind of did some nice stuff. So I think they thought you were visiting them. It might have been a little bit pre-Viking, but.
But this was a parallel universe, though, too, right? Or a parallel.
Yeah, it is. It's true. That's right. That's why I'm trying to figure out where it is. I mean, you're right. The map might be a bit different there. That's funny. That's a funny story. Wow. I'm just watching you. I don't want to say that, you know, don't take it the wrong way, but it's almost like you're oblivious.
Well, I am oblivious to a lot of things. I mean, I had so many.
Well, you're genuinely nice, and no one's really expecting that. And you know, people are territorial, and they see another culture, and they get all freaked out.
Yeah.
And, you know, people are on edge or they're paranoid, so then they think they're criminals or, you know what I mean? There's so many different ways that this thing spins out, and it's because of people are not familiar, you know, with something different.
Right. And it's hard to trust somebody when you first meet them.
Yeah, especially if they don't, you know, look like, you know, you're told at an early age, this is the tribe you need to be worried about. They're going to take from you, you know?
Mm-hmm. Huh. What's my name then?
Herschel.
Oh, go again. Herschel. From Sweden.
They offered you 2 wives.
Did I take them?
You were going to, and then you thought about, you know, how are you going to manage this? I think you got overwhelmed.
Maybe I had a wife at home.
don't think so. You did have someone you cared about. Oh, you know who it was?
Who? I can almost see her blushing when I call her. Yeah, I like her accent. And, you know, she's nice.
French Canadian.
Yeah.
Yeah. We got a lot of French people that are involved with my circle of friends here. They seem to be very nice.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I mean, a lot of people from the UK too, which are. I mean, I like them both. It's kind of hard that they're kind of at odds with each other. I think it would make the group more unified. They'd probably see it as, like, why is she helping the French? But I help people. I don't help necessarily groups.
Right.
You weren't married to. You were friends with her, but you had, a hope. Maybe you kind of thought about her for some reason when you were looking at these two other women.
So you think this is part of the reason why she thinks that, or she thought that I was her twin flame or soulmate or something, because of these past lives where we had connections here?
It could be, yeah.
Or parallel space.
Yeah, yeah. There's definitely a connection. Maybe you guys are, going to figure that out. I mean, I see you kind of getting like you were with those two women, but then you left them or something. You left them behind. You just couldn't. The thought of having to travel with someone it bothered you, and then I'm trying to see where you go, but it's like you're stuck there. It's kind of weird. Why don't you tell yourself you're free to return home? Just say you're free to return home.
Free to return home.
He just said thank you. Wait a minute. All right, let's see what happens. I'm going to move forward in time.
Percival? Is that his name? Yeah.
Yeah.
Welcome, Percival.
He's got like his bag. He's got some old bread and some other stuff in the bag, some food.
What is he, walking?
He's walking.
Oh, shit, man. That's a long-ass walk. Plus, he got that sword and... Yeah, no wonder he didn't...
the sword, yeah. And some gemstones and stuff, yeah.
No wonder he didn't... Wow, that's dangerous, too, walking by yourself with all this...
No, everybody was your friend. Nobody bothered you.
Yeah, but I got to go through probably a lot of other countries to get home.
They all were nice to you. It wasn't any problem.
Hmm.
All right, you take a ship over with some real characters. You hide all your stuff. They think you're poor and you don't have anything.
Hmm.
And they see that you're eating moldy bread, so they know for sure you don't have anything. So they give you some food. And one of the guys, the Swedish guy, thought you reminded him of like a relative or something, so they were nice to you. And they bring you back over.
So this is the ship taking me home?
Yep.
Oh, okay.
Takes you home. You return home and has another spouse.
Uh-oh. I was gone too long, huh?
Yeah.
Well, she did get married like 4 times, I think, 3 or 4.
Yeah.
In this life. So I'm home now?
There's a woman that was a slave. Kind of like Middle Eastern or something.
Mm-hmm.
And you have the money, so you buy her. And then you tell her that she's free, but she can't really just go anywhere, and you offer to give her money to go back home. And then she says she doesn't know where her family is anymore.
So I set her free, but I don't want her to stay with me?
Well, I think you didn't want to have, manipulate her, and of course you wanted someone that cared about you.
Right.
Not someone that was forced. I think her name was like Alma or something like that.
Huh.
And they had her cleaning floors and doing all sorts of stuff. And you told her she didn't have to do that anymore, and then she insisted on cleaning your house. And She became a very good friend.
So she stayed with me?
She stayed with you, and she helped you around the house.
Did we become involved?
No.
Hmm.
No, it looked like she was abused by others, so you just wanted her to feel like she was healed.
So I wasn't attracted to her.
You were, but then you found out that she was abused, and that the thought of her being in a relationship was upsetting to her.
Oh.
Huh. I think that was...
Oh my God. Man, I don't know if I want her to hear this.
Well, it didn't sound like you were, in a relationship with her.
Yeah, but she was a slave and I bought her.
Yeah.
I don't know if she'd want to hear that
You
shit.
bought her to make her free.
Yeah. Man, oh man, it seems like I've been carrying this like a curse when it comes to women through many lifetimes, and parallels and incarnations. It's one
Yeah.
after another. Or I'm a priest or a monk.
Let me see something, because there seems like there's a woman there, but I'm not sure. Another woman comes in, and I don't know where she... I think you're interested in her. She keeps on telling you to get rid of Velma.
But it's hard for two women to be in the same home with one man, I think.
What you do is you, in a way, she helped you out because that one was very bad. Kind of like a gold digger.
Oh, that wasn't really
Oh, it's
me.
probably one of those gold diggers that were coming after you recently.
Yeah. Wasn't really interested in me, but wanted to control me. And
yeah, maybe you were attracting that energy over here that was from there.
mm-hmm.
So she stopped that from happening, and then you were kind of upset at her. You introduced her to this other man. That's like half another, like not fully Swedish, but he's half of another culture.
Mm-hmm.
And she wants to marry him, but she's still very preoccupied with your life. It's almost like she can't let go. When she's attached to someone, she can't let go. She's sort of like that now.
Mm-hmm.
And then you meet about 4 other gold diggers.
It's not funny.
I know. This is what I'm saying is it's playing out over there. And you were refusing to look at it, and she yelled at you for being blind about what they were doing. And you accused her of being jealous. Either way, none of them worked out. One of them tried to get pregnant.
Did she?
No. No, you wouldn't sleep with her.
Oh.
And you just about gave up. And then found someone that she cared about, and then she introduced you to someone that was right for you.
Huh. So I did finally meet somebody.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm glad it hasn't been all failures.
Well, I think we just helped them get through it. Helped you get through it over there so you can get past some of this other stuff. Because you essentially hit the phase of the gold diggers, and the gold diggers, I think, would have destroyed you.
Huh.
They would have taken anything. You would have been on the street. If not dead. Because some of them were very, very greedy. And you just got past that. And now you're with someone that cares about you, and she's kind of an older woman. But there is a blonde-haired entity, like a demigod or something that's around you.
Mm-hmm.
But I feel like she was the cause of your problems with love. And I'm not sure what her name is.
See if we can identify her so I can get so I can break all ties with.
The name I heard the name Nun, Nun,
Uh-huh.
and in mythology, Nu also Nenu, Nun, Nunu, Nun, feminine Nanette is the deification of the primordial watery abyss in the Egyptian gods, sea and river gods. So I thought she was Scandinavian, but she's actually Egyptian again.
Hmm.
So why don't you break ties with that?
Yeah, I break all vows, contracts, agreements, oaths, blood oaths, any connection whatsoever in any dimension, time stream, in between, parallel, false reality, or quantum space with none, nu, and that. And I thank thee for it is done, and I know it. And hopefully that helps.
Yes, it's connected to the abyss. It's not good. Oh, jeez. That's probably related to that Akhenaten thing again, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's almost like it's a cross between Akhenaten, the primordials, and related to maybe like Poseidon or something like that.
Or maybe Hades.
Yeah. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Because we were talking about Hades the last time.
Yeah. It could be. So. Yeah, I think we're good.
Damn. Ooh. This is going to take some thought to understand all this stuff that happened today. I mean, shit.
You have to listen through it. Yeah, I know.